What's up, champions? Mr. Alpha here, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on one of the most powerful success habits shared by billionaires, elite performers, and world changers: waking up at 5 a.m. This isn't just another video telling you to wake up early. I'm going to reveal exactly why this habit creates such extraordinary results and, more importantly, the specific sequence of actions these top performers take immediately after opening their eyes. Look, I understand the resistance. For years, I was that person hitting snooze 5 times, dragging myself out of bed at the last possible minute, and rushing through my mornings in a state of chaos. My days felt like they controlled me, not the other way around. But everything changed when I discovered the science-backed 5 a.m. protocol I'm about to share with you. This isn't about torturing yourself with less sleep, it's about strategically aligning your waking hours with your body's natural biology to activate peak performance states that are simply inaccessible to the average person. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss my performance optimization content. If you're ready to transform your mornings and, by extension, your entire life, drop ready in the comments right now. Let's start with the raw truth about why successful people choose 5 a.m., and it has nothing to do with masochism or bragging rights. The most successful people in the world understand something that the average person doesn't: your morning hours have a disproportionate impact on your entire day. This isn't just motivational talk, it's rooted in biology. When you wake up at 5 a.m., you're tapping into 3 powerful biological advantages that the rest of the world is missing out on. First, between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., your cortisol levels naturally rise in what endocrinologists call the cortisol awakening response. This natural cortisol spike increases alertness, focus, and energy when properly leveraged. The problem is that most people waste this biological advantage by immediately stressing themselves with emails, news, and social media activities that create an excessive cortisol response, leading to burnout later in the day. Second, the pre-dawn hours feature minimal electromagnetic interference. Studies from quantum biology have shown that the electromagnetic fields from millions of electronic devices and human activity can actually affect your brain's ability to enter certain focus states. At 5 a.m., this interference is at its lowest point in the 24-hour cycle. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the pre-dawn hours feature what neurologists call elevated theta wave activity in the brain. In simple terms, your brain is still partially in the same state it experiences during deep meditation and REM sleep, a state where creativity, intuition, and problem-solving abilities are heightened. When you wake up later, you miss this critical theta wave period, which typically transitions to beta waves as the day advances and more people wake up. Beyond these biological advantages, there's a psychological edge that 5 a.m. provides: what I call environmental mastery. When you start your day while the rest of the world sleeps, you're making an active choice rather than responding to external demands. This single decision creates a powerful ripple effect of proactive rather than reactive behavior throughout your entire day. Now, let's look at the empirical evidence. A study of over 300 CEOs found that 86% wake up before 6 a.m. on weekdays. Among self-made millionaires, that number jumps to 91%. Coincidence? Hardly. Tim Cook, Apple CEO, wakes at 3:45 a.m. Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson all rise before 5 a.m. Even historical geniuses like Benjamin Franklin made the 5 a.m. wake-up a cornerstone of their daily routines. But here's what most people miss completely: it's not just about waking up early, it's about what you do in the critical first hour after waking that separates the elite performers from everyone else. The average person squanders this powerful time. They check their phone immediately, flooding their system with dopamine and stress hormones. They react to other people's priorities in emails and messages. They consume negative news and social media, programming their brain with limitations before the day even begins. Successful people, in contrast, Follow what I call the Power Hour Protocol, a specific sequence of activities designed to leverage the unique biology of the early morning hours. Let me walk you through exactly what this protocol entails. The first 10 minutes after waking are what I call the hydration and oxygenation phase. Before your feet touch the floor, before checking any devices, successful people focus on rehydrating and oxygenating their brain and body. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is in a state of mild dehydration, which can reduce cognitive function by up to 30%. Elite performers immediately drink 16 to 20 ounces of room temperature water, often with added minerals and a small amount of pink Himalayan salt to enhance cellular hydration and electrical conductivity in the brain. Next comes deep breathing. Most people breathe shallowly, using only 20% of their lung capacity. Successful people start their day with a specific breathing pattern, inhaling for 5 seconds, holding for 2 seconds, and exhaling for 7 seconds. This 5-2-7 pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system, increases oxygen saturation in the blood, and reduces the excessive cortisol response that can come with waking up. Just these first 10 minutes set the biochemical foundation for optimal brain performance throughout the day. The next 20 minutes comprise what I call the physical activation phase. Contrary to popular belief, elite performers rarely do intense workouts immediately upon waking. Instead, they focus on gentle, strategic movement designed to activate the lymphatic system, increase blood flow to the brain, and prepare the body's energy systems without depleting them. This typically includes 5 minutes of light stretching focusing on spine mobility, 5 minutes of resistance band work for muscle activation, and 10 minutes of zone 2 cardio like walking or light jogging, just enough to elevate the heart rate without triggering stress responses. Research from the Human Performance Institute shows that this type of morning movement increases cognitive function by up to 15% for the following 8 hours, while also optimizing glucose metabolism throughout the day. The following 20 minutes focus on what neuroscientists call mental priming, purposefully programming your neural pathways before the day's inputs can influence them. This begins with 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation. But successful people don't just meditate randomly, they use a specific visualization technique where they mentally rehearse their perfect day, focusing on emotional states rather than just outcomes. This creates what neurologists call preemptive neural patterning, where your brain establishes pathways for success before you encounter challenges. The next 5 minutes are devoted to what I call identity affirmation. Unlike generic affirmations, identity statements rewire your self-concept at the core level. For example, instead of saying "I want to be confident," successful people affirm "I am the kind of person who naturally exudes confidence in challenging situations." The final 5 minutes of mental priming involve reviewing your top 3 goals, not just for the day, but your biggest life goals. This activates your reticular activating system, RAS, the part of your brain that filters information to identify opportunities throughout the day that align with these goals. The last 10 minutes of the Power Hour involve what I call strategic fueling. Successful people understand that what you put into your body in the first hour after waking determines your metabolic function for the entire day. Rather than loading up on carbohydrates that cause mid-morning crashes, top performers typically consume a precise combination of proteins, healthy fats, and limited low glycemic carbohydrates. This maintains stable blood sugar, optimizes hormone production, and provides sustained energy rather than spikes and crashes. Many elite performers use a specific nutrient timing protocol, consuming particular supplements within 30 minutes of waking to optimize neurotransmitter production. Common elements include omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, adaptogenic herbs, and specific amino acids that support dopamine and acetylcholine production for focus and drive. This 60-minute Power Hour creates an unstoppable foundation for the day. But there's another key element that's equally important: what successful people don't do during the first hour after waking at 5 a.m. They don't check email, messages, or social media. Research shows that checking your phone within the first hour of waking decreases productivity by up to 30% and increases stress hormones by nearly 60% throughout the entire day. They don't consume news or any media that programs limiting beliefs or negative expectations. They don't engage in demanding decision-making that depletes willpower reserves early in the day. And they don't immediately jump into reactive work responding to others' priorities. By protecting this sacred morning hour, successful people essentially operate on a different level than the average person. They've set up their biology, psychology, and focus before most people have even opened their eyes. Now, let's address the common objections I hear about the 5 a.m. routine. But I'm not a morning person. This is a story you've told yourself based on past habits. Chronobiology research shows that only about 10% of people have a genetic predisposition that makes mornings difficult. For the other 90%, it's simply a matter of resetting your circadian rhythm, which typically takes about 14 to 21 days of consistency. I won't get enough sleep. This misses the point entirely. The 5 a.m. routine isn't about sleeping less, it's about shifting your sleep schedule. If you need 7 hours of sleep, you would need to be asleep by 10 p.m. Successful people prioritize this earlier bedtime because they understand the compounding return on investment that the morning hours provide. My willpower isn't strong enough to wake up that early. This demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of habit formation. Willpower should only be needed for the first 5 to 7 days. After that, you're establishing neural pathways that make the habit increasingly automatic. By day 21, most people find they naturally wake up at 5 a.m., often before their alarm. I have night commitments that prevent an early bedtime. This is ultimately about priorities. The most successful people in the world fiercely protect their sleep schedule, often declining evening events that would compromise their morning routine. They understand that the compounding benefits of their morning protocol deliver substantially more value than most late-night activities. Now, let me share some real-world examples of how the 5 a.m. routine has transformed lives. Jason was a mid-level manager struggling with constant overwhelm and stagnant career growth. Within 30 days of implementing the 5 a.m. Power Hour protocol, he had completed a side project that earned him a promotion and a 32% salary increase. The uninterrupted focus time allowed him to produce work that made him stand out dramatically from his peers. Sarah was an entrepreneur whose business had plateaued. After adopting the 5 a.m. routine, she used the mental priming period to solve a marketing challenge that had stumped her for months. Within 60 days, she had implemented a new strategy that increased her revenue by 47% while actually reducing her working hours. Michael was chronically stressed and on the verge of health problems despite being financially successful. The 5 a.m. routine gave him the time for proper physical activation and stress management. His blood pressure normalized within weeks, he lost 22 pounds over 3 months, and his psychological well-being scores improved by 64% according to his therapist's assessments. These aren't isolated examples. I've guided over 10,000 people through this transition to the 5 a.m. lifestyle, and the success rate for those who commit to the full 21-day adaptation period exceeds 80%. So how do you actually implement this 5 a.m. routine in your own life? Let me give you a step-by-step implementation plan. Start with your why. Identify a compelling reason to make this change something more powerful than the temporary discomfort of waking up early. Write this down and place it next to your bed. Begin with a gradual shift. If you currently wake up at 7 a.m., don't immediately jump to 5 a.m. Shift your wake-up time by 15 to 20 minutes earlier every 3 days. This gradual approach respects your circadian rhythm's need for incremental adaptation. Establish a non-negotiable sleep schedule. Calculate backwards from your target wake-up time to ensure you're getting sufficient sleep. If you need 7 hours of sleep and want to wake at 5 a.m., you must be asleep, not just in bed, by 10 p.m. Create a sleep sanctuary. Remove all electronics from your bedroom, Keep the temperature between 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and use blackout curtains to signal to your body that this space is for sleep only. Use the 10-3-2-1-0 formula for evening preparation: no caffeine 10 hours before bed, no food 3 hours before bed, no work 2 hours before bed, no screens 1 hour before bed, and zero hesitation when your alarm goes off. Immediately get up. Place your alarm across the room, so you must physically get out of bed to turn it off. Once you're standing, immediately go to your water and begin the hydration phase we discussed. Prepare everything the night before: your water, exercise clothes, meditation space, and breakfast components should all be ready to go. This eliminates decision fatigue in the morning. Use social accountability. Find a 5 a.m. accountability partner or join a community of early risers who can support your journey. When someone else is expecting you to check in at 5:05 a.m., you're far less likely to hit snooze. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. Keep a morning journal noting how you feel each day after completing your power hour. This creates positive reinforcement and helps you identify improvements in your performance and well-being. Be patient with the adaptation process. The first week will be challenging as your body adjusts. By week 2, you'll start experiencing the benefits. By week 3, the habit will begin to feel natural. After 30 days, it will become part of your identity. Champions, what I've shared today isn't just about waking up early, it's about strategically aligning your life with biological principles that enable extraordinary performance. The 5 a.m. routine isn't a punishment, it's a privilege that gives you access to capabilities and opportunities that most people will never experience. Imagine having accomplished more by 8 a.m. than most people accomplish in an entire day. Imagine having the clarity and energy to pursue your biggest goals while others are still hitting snooze. Imagine building this single keystone habit that then creates a cascade of positive changes throughout every aspect of your life. This is the power of the 5 a.m. routine when implemented correctly. If you're serious about mastering this routine at the deepest level, I've created a comprehensive 5 a.m. mastery system with guided audio for each phase of the power hour, plus advanced techniques for accelerating your adaptation. The link is in the description below. For my YouTube family, I'm offering special access at a fraction of what my coaching clients pay. But even if you never invest in another program, please use the protocol I've shared today. These morning habits can literally transform your life's trajectory. This is Mr. Alpha, reminding you that extraordinary success begins with extraordinary mornings. Drop a comment with 5 a.m. commitment if you're ready to join the ranks of elite performers who own their day from the first moment. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more strategies that separate the elite from the average. Until next time, stay alpha.